Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back for another brand new video. Today's our video, we're here to break down, react and discuss another clean sheet, another 3 points and another goal for Captain Tavernier. Now if you've ever seen this channel before, you know that makes me a very, very happy guy, and I'm very, very happy right now as I'm currently recording today's video. But I know there's some people disappointed with how we set up and how the approach was and how slow the passing was in today's game, and that's completely fine. We will break all that down in today's game recap. But for me, I think you need to go out here and be able to win these types of games and the type of performances where it's no great. If you can win games when you aren't at your best, that's a sign of a very, very good football team, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what we are, because that performance wasn't great. But what happened? 3 points, clean sheet. I've had worse Sundays. But enough talking around the game, let's actually dive in and get to the game recap then, shall we? And how Rangers approach this game and how Rangers set up in this game shouldn't have been any surprise to anyone who tuned into yesterday's preview video, because 3 of the 4 changes that was made to the starting 11 was called in yesterday's video, where we talked about Jones coming back in, we talked about Jack coming back in, and why I thought Balogun would be in for Helander. All those came true, but this is the part I'd love to say is we came out firing and they all just took over the game and we created the first chance of the match. But in truth, it was quite a slow start from Rangers, and you got to see something we also spoke in yesterday's preview video, going after Barisic down that side, and that's exactly what happened within the first minute of this game of football, where the boy on the right hand side just goes after Barisic. Barisic doesn't dive in, he actually still just takes a couple of steps away from his man skips by him, whips in a very, very dangerous low driven cross that could have went anywhere, could have hit off one of your guys, went in the back of it, could have went to one of their players that was in the box, but thankfully it just whizzed past everyone and goes out for a throw. And that right there was a bit of a worry and a bit of a shock to this game, to see Barisic still just taking a step off his man. We obviously got punished in the Hibs game for that, but thankfully I think Barisic got better as the game went on, and especially in the second half he got much closer to the wingers for Ross County and actually got stuck in. But I'm glad that he made the mistake early but learned from it and didn't let it happen for the rest of the game when he was on. But after the first initial chance of the match, how did Rangers respond? I mean, it was an okay response. We did get the ball down, we tried to pass it from side to try and control the middle of the park, but the first major opportunity in the game sort of came from a free kick scenario that was well won by Ryan Kent after Tavernier whips a ball into him. His first touch is immaculate, it sets up a very, very dangerous free kick, but the 7 foot whatever wall that was for Ross County ended up just deflecting it out harmlessly for a corner. But the tempo in that little movement was much, much better to win the initial free kick, and we saw something very, very similar just 5 minutes after that on the 12th minute of this game, where Ryan Jack gets his heads up, plays a long, beautiful through ball out to your man Tavernier, who just does what Tavernier does. Stops the ball on a sixpence, gets his head up, sees Morelos make the run, whips in a beautiful cross, and your man Alfredo Morelos is actually pushed over as he looks to try and get on the end of that cross from Tavernier. Now when it first happened I went, ooh, that's a bit soft, but thank you referee, you're getting a fruit basket for your Christmas. But when I saw the replay back, actually the defender's literally got his 2 hands on Alfredo Morelos' back, so clear penalty all damn day. And penalty for Rangers was chanted, and who stepped up? The man of the moment right now that just continues to do things for Rangers. It was the skipper. He puts the ball down with the chance to make it 8 in his last 8, and he does it absolutely nonchalantly, just sort of passing it down the middle as the goalkeeper dives to his left, which is just fantastic. And the utter confidence I have right now in Tavernier. Honestly, there was a free kick about 5 minutes after we took the lead in the game for 40 yards out. I was going, just let Tav hit it. That's how much confidence I've got in him, and that's the level that he's playing at. Yes, it's just a penalty, but you've still got to step up and score them, and he did it so effortlessly, and that put us 1-0 up in the game. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is usually the part where I say we turned up to 11 and we spanked the opposition team rotten and we just took them to task. That's usually what I've been saying for the majority of the season, especially when we score the first goal in the game. But I can't say that in today's video, because the next highlight comes nearly 50 minutes after it, and it was a header from Connor Goldson, which was just over. But apart from that header from Goldson 50 minutes after we took the lead, there there was none. There was no penetration, there was no brilliant link-up play, there wasn't clear-cut opportunities. It was just kind of going through the emotions and just trying to kind of passing side to side against a low block. And you know, the perfect summary of how this second part of the first half went, the referee actually blew the whistle 4 seconds early. That's how bored he was in the side-by-side pass, and he went, alright, it's just going to go back, I need the toilet. Let's get out of here. So that was half time, and as usual, social media is normally very, very negative, especially places like Twitter, and there was, this guy's terrible, this is awful, but I was pretty cool, calm, and collected at half time because I was sure we were going to come out and turn the tempo up, and that's exactly what happened in the second half because we had the opportunities in the first 50 minutes of this second half to make it 3-4. Maybe even more. And it started just 5 minutes in to the second half after Connor Goldson picks up one of his Connor Goldson passes. I don't even need to describe it to you because you all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, it's an immaculately weighted ball to Tavernier, whose first touch is good, but his second touch is even better as he whips in a low, dangerous cross that actually goes straight to Alfredo Morelos, 6 yards out. Throw your fit at it, son. But he takes a touch, and with them taking a touch, it gives the Ross County defender to get back in there. But full credit to the Ross County defender, man. He absolutely throws himself in front of it, makes a timely block. But I think if Morelos had been banging in the goals this season, I'm pretty sure he'd have hit that first time. But it was the initial touch to shape himself that gave the opportunity for the defender to just come in like Superman and block it. And just 5 minutes after that chance, we had another one, and instead of a defender making a fantastic block at the ball, it was the goalkeeper stepping up and doing his job after Kent whips in a delicious corner straight to your man Balogun, who actually does very well to connect with it the way he does because he's kind of reaching, but it's a volley as it's just about to hit the ground, but it gets on target. But Laidlaw, we spoke about him yesterday, he is a very, very good shot stopper. His positioning's good and his reaction saves are solid as he clears it over the bar and out for another corner. And from that resulting corner, we end up whipping another one in, but it gets cleared out to Glenn Kamara. And what I like about Glenn Kamara, especially in this little bit, is this is what we want more from Glenn Kamara because he takes the touch, he gets his head up, and instead of going sideways, it's a beautiful penetrating pass in behind the defence, giving Morelos the opportunity to make it 2-0, and all he needs to do is pretty much just hit the target, but he ends up lifting it about a mile over the bar. But that right there is when it started to nip on the old backside because I went, oh no, I've seen this story. I've seen it just a couple of weeks ago versus Hibs. Clear-cut opportunities being missed or timely blocked or a fantastic save. This is going to be a very frustrating second half. And it really, really was. I mean, for the next 10 or so minutes, it was as flat as you're ever going to see. And the guy that was getting a lot of the blame for that, Ryan Jack, actually came off at this time, ladies and gentlemen, for your man Hadji, and also Calvin Bassett also came on for Barisic. But I want to focus more on Jack because Jack was getting peddlers all afternoon. He's too slow, he's too passive, he's doing this, get him off in the midfield, we'll quicken up. Well, he came off the park, and for the next 15, 16, 17 minutes of the game, we had no control in the middle of the park at all, and Ross County was actually the ones growing in the game and looking like they were going to score. Now, the first highlight we're going to talk about from Ross County was them almost scoring, but it was actually nearly scoring a delicious own goal by Captain Morris after it's a long ball in behind trying to get Alfredo Morelos involved in the game, but there's a mix-up between Laidlaw and Morris. Morris tries to header it back, but he is a whisker away from making it 2 for Rangers, which would have been staunch, but it would have been harsh on Ross County, who at this point was controlling the middle of the park. Now we had changed things and took Jacko off. But from being a whisker away from making it 2-0 to Rangers, they were even closer after the big centre-half came up after a very, very cheap free kick, which wasn't even a free kick, by the way, because Balogun clearly got the wall. But anyway, it's a delicious ball into the box. Our marking isn't good enough from the free kick. The big centre-half has a free header 6 yards out, but his looping header, thankfully, just goes over the bar, because that moment right there is the moment that's bitch slapped us over the last 3-4 seasons. It's that being in control of the game, taking a 1-0 lead, no taking our chances, then conceding a stupid goal. That is the goal we normally concede, but thankfully it just went over and we live to fight another day. And speaking of living another day, by the way, your man Brandon Barker stepped up in the 88th minute, where it was actually the two substitutes combining, because your man Hadji was also on the park as well, and he played a massive part in this because it's a beautiful weighted ball in behind the defence using Barker's pace, and Barker, to be, just give him full credit, right? I know he's got his haters and stuff like that, but just look at that goal. That isn't a goal where he just beats a man, hits it, and it ricochets and goes in. No. That is a chance there for Barker where he's got the ball, he's got so much time, and he actually creates a better opportunity for himself. He's no rushing, he's no trying to just make something happen. He's cool, he's composed, he beats a man, takes another step, waits for the right moment, and then just smashes it in to end the game 2-0. Phenomenal for Barker, and that's what he's got in his locker. And hell, I put it on social media when he was substituted on in the 70th minute. I went, today's the day, Shags. We need it, Barker. We need it. And he delivered it just on his birthday as well. So happy birthday, Barker. You've gave us all a smile on your birthday, Shags. And again, I'm so happy for Barker. We got the moment last week for Jones. We now got it for Barker. It's just a good, feel-good moment, that seeing a guy succeed after things looking like it wasn't going his way. But also, let's talk about how important Hadji was on this as well. I know I kind of touched on him during the highlight there, but he's got his critics this season. People are slaughtering him, but that's his 7th assist in his last 8 games. No bad for someone that's playing terrible. But with that being said, that is the game recap done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it wasn't the best performance we've seen this season, not by a long stretch, but just as I mentioned right at the start of today's video, these are just as important as the 4 and 5-0s and just as impressive in my opinion, because you're not always going to play 10 out of 10, but it's when the levels drop that's hurt us in previous seasons. But we got the job done there. Another clean sheet and 3 points, and that's all I'm really taking away for this weekend. I'm going to be a very, very happy guy. We all should be very, very happy, because you look at it, going in to this international break, we now sit top of the league, yes, game in hand and all that, but we've got an opportunity to make that right when we come back for the international break. But still, even with that, we're undefeated in the league. We haven't conceded a goal at Ibrox, and we made it once again for the 3rd consecutive year to the Europa League group stages, making all that moolah. Let's take a step back, deep breath, and just say, this is good. But aye, that's my thoughts on the game and how the seasons went so far. To wrap up, by the way, my overall man of the match was a pretty easy one for me, because again, it wasn't the best performance, but Tavernier, direct, powerful, created numerous opportunities there where if Morelos was a bit sharper, Big Tavernier, would have had a lot more assists in this game also. So aye, he was impressive. I thought Glenn Kamara was very good. I thought Stephen Davis was very good when he came on the park as well, because he came in and played the free in the middle, and that got control of the game, and that set up and allowed us to build and grab the second in this game. But aye, if I'm going to have to pick a man of the match for all of that, I'm going with the skipper. What about you? I'd love to hear what your thoughts and opinions are on not only this game, but the season so far gone in to the international break, or the 2nd international break. And while you guys do that, I will now jump over to Twitter, where I was supposed to do it 15 minutes ago, but I didn't realise the tweet initially failed to send. So this is my second part of doing the intro to Twitter. But now we're officially there, CJ. Sorry, I'm awful. But anyway, there's been 181 votes because the poll's been out for 3 minutes. Yep, and my man in the match selections were Tavernier and other, because that's how far I actually thought the distance was between your man in the match and the rest of the team. And it looks like most of the poll actually agrees. There's only 5% votes for other, but the far and away winner with 95% of the vote is your man Tavernier. So he is the people's opinion. So let's see what the people had to say then. Kyle RC writes in, got to have Barker in there as an option as well, since his birthday. Win's a win, but we need to work on breaking teams down. Boys in Blue is the next one in, and he writes in, Tav for sure. Not a great performance, but an all-around great result, and that's all that really matters. Dino writes in, Tav all day long. The man is a machine. Long may his phenomenal form continue, and continues to fire on all cylinders. James Hunter writes in, Barker was as simple as that. CJ. Scott Cameron writes in, was a great game. Fair enough. Tav was everywhere on the pitch, and same for Jacko. Shame that Buff didn't get the goal, but the 2-0 win will do us very, very nicely. Charlie writes, an okay performance, got the 3 points, which is all that matters. Tav was outstanding. Barker, birthday masterclass as well. We do love to see it. Cancelled Ryan Jack writes in, poor performance overall, 3 points, but we were lucky to have them. Tav was outstanding, but everyone else underperformed with the exception of McLaughlin, as he never really had anything to do. Away from the negative though, it's good to see birthday boy Barker score. And the last one we're actually reading out in tonight's video comes from Alfie West, and he writes in, yeah, Tav gets pass marks, another goal, another clean sheet, top of the table, but the performance was flat and Ross County were much better than I expected. You must have missed yesterday's prediction video. Morelos missed 2 golden chances to make it easy day. I was also surprised Defoe didn't come on for Morelos either, as he clearly wasn't at the races. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Now, you've heard from the people, you've heard from myself. If you haven't done so already, you know what to do by now. And as always, I've been CJ Novo 992. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.